Hello こんにちは。 T1vs GENG ラストゲーム5試合目です。勝った方は世界大会が決まる。世界大会決まって決勝にそのまま行けます。 LCK の決勝に大事な試合。ブルーサイドを選択した T1、サイド的には有利。T1 はザヤがバンされたらどうなるかだよね。コーキーバンジェンジ。フェイカーがね、正直コーキー以外パフォーマンスがよろしくない。戻ってきてからカイサファーストだ。カイサはワンチャンミッドもありえるぞ。ヘレティクスはミッドでよく使っていた。カイサファースト。ジェンジー何を取る。ピックバンがガラッと変わった。マオカイ優先。ジャックス空いてる。アリスターだ。デライトアリスターうまかったな。アリスターラカン、カイサ、勝率バチクソ高いっす。8連勝とかして一時期勝率 90% あった。ポッピー、ポッピージャングル。アジール優先だ。フェイカーのアジール。一つ前の試合で053。ちょくちょくミスは目立つ。しかしラストゲーム手首はもう十分休めた。フェイカー実はもう手首使ってなかった説がある。この試合で本気を出すフェイカー。ペイズの得意のアフェリオス。ペイズの得意なアフェリオス来ました。初戦もアフェリオスで勝っています。カイサとアフェリオスの射程の差がね、連戦で特に差を感じますね。ジェンジーここでランブルバーン。ランブルバーンジャックス取らないんだね。タリアをバンする T1。初戦で負けたタリアをバンだ。ゼウスが何を取るかだな。ゼウスがタンクやったら微妙な気がする。サポートをケリアにプレイメイクさせて軽く出そうぜ。ラカンバンジェンジ。アジール相手何を出す。ギャングプランクバンダ。ジャックスヨネどうなる。ヨネマオカイ強そうなんだよね。マオカイの後ろウルトをブロックしてもらうときにさ、並ぶからヨネが刺さる。ヨネを取るか先に。いやニーコだ。マジかよ。ニーコまだ出てなかったぞ今日。いやでもヨネだね。ヨネマオカイだ。さっき勝ったしな。ヨネです。ジャックスのカウンターバンしてる。さっきもキャリーしてたゼウス。一回引っかかって終わったけど。ジャックス相手グラガス取ってくるぞ。ドランのグラガスだぞ。これに壊されて終わった T1 今年の春。そしてサポート何を取る。エンゲージが欲しい。でもアリスターはカウンターチャンプだ。アリスター相手は使いづれレール。でもエンゲージが他にあまりない。レールをピック。ここでグラガスを取ってくるだろう。うわーカサンテ。ハローこんにちは。 T1vs ジェンジ。ラストゲームです。世界大会がかかってる。負けたら KT と戦うよ。KT も T1 に負けたけど強いぞ。レギュラーシーズン17勝1敗が待ってる。ここは勝っておきたい。
still claims he's not fully recovered, but has overall been good enough in lane and has, you know, weathered the storm enough times to where he's been very relevant on this Azir pick that they've relied on so much in draft. It was not punished this time by GENG.
レベルは何かするかお互いに。
You know, we're in a
特に何も
situation
ない
where
で
GENG
す。
strike
スタ
back
ン
in
ダー
the
ド。
fourth game, you know, where they have some really clutch plays from Jovi early. Doran falls behind, but he's still able to stay relevant in those later fights. And it's just, you can't ask for a crazier story than this. I mean, the fact that T1 is even here in the first place was something nobody predicted, nobody saw coming. Yeah, and here we are.
Yeah, and I do think that
オーナーのポッピーうまい気がすんだよな。うまいよね。ポッピーは結局ウルト当てられるかどうかじゃない？ポッピーのウルトを簡単にキャンセルできるスキルもないし。
those expectations. So let's see if they can take the final step,
or
will GENG, the expected victor in this one, take it down. Although, of course, over the last 4 games, expectations have changed wildly back and forth.
Doran has been pretty good on this.
の回り方は把握してる T1.
It's hard to really mess up, and normally we aren't huge fans of the Cassante in terms of what its power is in team fights. But within the
カサンテを優先するんだね、グラガスじゃなくて。
It feels really good here, actually. You can follow up on engage with your Q3. You have a lot of space. You have a lot of time to stack those up and get on top of some of these targets. You can peel really well for the engage. So the Cassante actually does feel like one of those
ガッチガチのタンクが欲しかったのかな。またか。おお。連れてきた。この間にポッピーはブルー食ってる。ピーナッツ HP も少ないぞ。スマイトも使わず取ったってことはこれまで取れるんじゃない？ボトム主導権あるぞ。魔法界食うもんないから触るけど一旦。でかすぎるこれタワー下に持ってきたの魔法界を。ミッドの長尾が来るんでね。どうなる死にはしないでしょう。逆にヨネを捕まえることもできるぞ。壁ドンしてスタン決めたー。逆に長尾を倒したー。フェイカー仕事した魔法界の時間奪って HP 削ってポッピータイマンクソ強いからね。魔法界弱くて取ったー。
Great start here for T1. Faker handles the pressure from Peanut. He's down a flash. Then Yone gets caught. Now
スタートは T1 です。
It's going to be a little bit tougher for him to put the pressure on he wants here in this lane against Faker.
さっきやられたことをオーナー返していく。取ったー。ピーナッツ。相手がキャニオンに見えてきてんじゃねえかこれ。でも大丈夫、ピーナッツはこれ以上ボコられてても勝った記憶というか勝った覚悟があるからな。2打リー対ヘカレムでもうミッドのねタワー2つの間でハラスされたりね、ウォルフからチキンにキャニオン行って盗んでたからな。除草剤効く。誰がビッグモーターでやめろ。しなしなや。
And you know that Peanut knows immediately. Peanut can't hit level 4. I mean, he's desperate just to farm his own.
やべえなこのポッピー。
Carria's here now because they already got the win in mid. There's no prio for GENG, so Carria can come up. Owner.
あ、さすがにこれは取ったピーナッツ。でもなんかレルいるぞ。さすがにこれダイブ無理、ミニオンないし。いやレルが見えたってことはミッドに行けるぞアリスター。フェイカーノーフラッシュ。しかし追い返した。いい感じじゃんフェイカー。裏からカイサ大丈夫か。あーグラブダメ。タイミングクレンズだ。
You know, Guma flashes away. They don't have vision in the river. They don't know what's coming there, and Carrier was on the way. So
ベルのロームは失敗でもトップ側に視界をめちゃくちゃ置いてきたね。レッドバフにピンク置いたり、うまいしよく留守番した。
Faker does not complete the plate, gets about 2/3 of it here, but is sitting on a pretty hefty gold lead now after that last exchange between the two of them. And you can see the gold lead here for Pays is all that they're really sitting on right now as GENG. Still the early game, still not a whole lot of action. It's not like this is a
ジャングルのファームさえぐいな。魔王界初代アイテムジャイアントベルトクリア遅そう。
See if owner can make something happen down here. I don't think they'll commit.
ポッピはバーミーシンダーだ。ジャングルの有利でドラゴン取っていく。アフィリウスも帰ってるし、トップはマッチアップ的にスキルマッチアップではあります。ジョアン・カサンテが確かねソロキルワンチャン狙えるんだよね。時間が経てば経つほどジャックスがしばくけど、序盤はカサンテもあるよ。特に6タイミング。えかヨネの強制的に戻るやつはポッピのダブルで止められないよな。絶対に戻っちゃうから。ポッピー敵のジャングル入って魔王界見つける。常にプレッシャーを与えていきます。またレルが動く。
Herald is going to spawn in 15, and this is the kind of comp, you know, if Peanut could hit 6 that you absolutely can team fight very well with, but
この場所は
to steal away this buff would actually give him
さっきピーナッツが事故った場所。
He's not able to do so.
So we kind of have a knocker spot. Nice dodge there on the stun. Otherwise, could have been some danger, although Faker does not have his ult, so yeah, just going to get away. And big rotation up towards that Rift Herald. Big committal from both sides, but nobody is actually
カニコントロールはオーナーがバッチリだね。
I love this
ゲラルドが出た。
how he is doing what Peanut has done to so many times, including him in very critical best of fives, and taking the advantages, pushing the jungle.
ゲラルドはこれギブするみたいですね、ジェンジ。お互いにレートゲーム超強い構成。
You know, was known for mechanics only early on in his career, but has really turned that around, and this Poppy has always been very strong. Area over here going to get zoned out as Peanut says, okay, if you want to play vertical, we'll play vertical.
ボトム守りになんかフェイカーが来てるね。今ポッピーが一人でヘラルでやってるから、相手がボトムで人数有利だからアリスター使ってダイブしてくる可能性も考慮してフェイカーが寄ってたね。このタイミングでミッドレーナーが来ることなんてまずないから、相手が無理したところを狙ってる。しかしジェンジーもそれを予測しているのか、深いところにワードを置いて、アジルが来るかどうか確認用のワードを置いて冷静にダイブしません。味方を連れてきて魔王界ジャングル盗みます。ジャックス1人で突破を仕込む。プロキシーした。プロキシーしたらその後グループしたりとかする時間が余裕が生まれるんだけど、ジャックスどう動く？プロキシー1回してもう1回プロキシーするか？トライブッシュでジャックス待ち伏せてるぞ。来たらしばこうっていう考えだったみたいだけど。ヒットアンドラン、アリスタの HP 削る。アリスタ6、ダイブできるぞ。このウェーブでダイブするか。魔王界寄ってきた。ポッピー見える。ポッピーいねえことは確認。魔王界のウルト、アリスタがちょっとタンクしてる。でも HP 少ない。アリスタの HP が事前に削れてたからこれ以上タンクできなかったね。一瞬ポッピーが稲打ちを狙ったけど T1 なんとかいなしました。タワー下に持ってこられる。危ねえ。これがあるのよね、加算って。魔王界ウルトダウンです。
Plate gold does go over to Guma. Nicely executed here by T1. Not going to over-index into this. Just want to make sure they can get some additional gold into this Kaisa.
フェイカーが有利取ってる。
He's farmed up pretty hard here. Chovy and teleport back into lane. It's going to be a plate though.
Yeah. I was going to say he's going to greed for this plate, but actually extremely safe. Had Owner right next to him.
Had to flash Emperor's Divide. He's fully safe.
Soldier in position. Even with Delight on the roam. I feel for Delight in this one, especially after the early game, he's like looking for any angle he can find. He's like trying to go mid, he's trying to go even up to the Rift Herald, he's trying to like be in the enemy jungle, trying to go for dives, but nothing really working for him so far.
Yeah. Two Drake lead would be fantastic for T1 with the
マオカイトップで見えてて今サンファイア買ってるぞポッピー。マオカイ1回バックしないとアイテム買えないからね。これドラゴンは T1 が2つ連続で取れそうじゃない？マオカイの居場所もバレてるしね。ドラゴン2個ファッキンフリーはでかいぞ。
See this group up here now. Faker getting mid prio, and it looks like Owner's just going to start this one up. GENG not looking confident to contest here. And Faker, I mean, he's had such a great laning phase here. Picking up plate gold.
マオカイ帰ってアイテム買ってくる。間に合うか？ちょっと始めるの遅いな T1。アイテム的にはね T1 ミッドとジャングルがもうコンプリートしてるしアイテム。ヨネもマオカイもワンコアできてないぞ。戦うのかジェンジ。戦えるのか？お戦いに来る。怖さがあるけどな。素材とワンコアこの差はでかい。T1 戦わないのか？ホッピーのアルティメットがあるから飛ばして戦うことも可能ではあるぞ。でも遅いなポジションが。いやヨネがプレッシャーかけてポッピーのウルト使わせた。これ戦えないの？マジかよ。怖さあるのに。ケミテックソウル、ケミテックマップ。アイテム的に有利に見えたんだけどね。戦わないか。レートいったら俺たちの勝ちだよっていうのもあるのかな。まあ、寄ってはいたから戦おうとはしてたんだけど。ちょっと寄りが遅かったね。お互いトップレーナー来てたんだけどね。戦わなかったね。
Yeah, Zay's just going to read the play at the end of the day. Or is he? He's just going to face check instead into GENG. Now there's not a lot of damage.
CC で固める。
The ult comes out from Zeus and Owner's trying to help out.
ザックスディバインは出てるし、アルティメットで硬いっちゃ硬い。味方が来るまで耐えたらこれいけるぞ。スリーマンスタンだ。いやでも味方が遠いか。ちょっと遠かった。
This is pretty huge for GENG, and I really like the way they use the CC there.
アフェリオスに切る。マオカイが来てる。
Pretty strong, but not strong enough. Tries to turn on to Paze in the end in desperation, but didn't have flash there either. So ultimately is going to get taken out. Paze picks up some additional gold. He's got 350 from plates, and is going to be taking out this turret here.
ゴールドはまだ T1 勝ってますね。タープレート結構取ってるのか。
And he needs another wave to get the last part, so maybe not actually.
ミッドタワー取るぞでも T1。ミッドタワー取れたらファッキンワース。ミッドタワーはマジででかい。すごく大事なオブジェクト。トップよりも全然強い。
Still a very even game. Like look at the gold, it just matched up equally at that exact moment. So GENG certainly back in this one, and I don't know. I mean, this could go really any way from here.
I mean, this is exactly what we expected from this game when we saw the draft. Just such a close game we're probably going to have. And with Chemtech Soul, I think it's going to continue to be that way. As Zeus gets caught here, the timing of this ult from Peanut as well to root him into place is really good. And then they see the rotation over of Owner, and they're like, we can get more out of this if they try to continue to fight. Paze gets the kill as Zeus tries to jump onto him and knows he's dead and allows Owner to get away. But yeah, I mean, it's a very close game here.
いやー、すごいゲームだ。5試合目でみんな集中力途切れてないし。どっちが勝つか本当わからん。
The Aphelios gank too strong. in the top side.
GENG, they also got so much money out of those turrets. They deleted minions. Map played pretty good from them in this last game.
Okay, we have a
ジェンジは結構 AD が濃いか。
really
ヨネが少し AP 火力は出るけど
might just be a little bit of a slow mid game once
AD に
again,
かなり寄っ
especially
てるね。
because of that Chemtech soul. I mean, Jovi's just parked himself in the bottom side.
お
Looks like
ブラス
Carrier
ティングをうまく使っていく
wants
か
to try to get Zeus ahead.
だいぶ狙うか
As let's see how this one
え
does
ぐ
go, but
う
the
わ
ultimate
でもこれヨネ生きるのかよ
and he will be okay. And now that
い
means
え
that seeing Carrier
ヨネのアルティメットの判定が勝つんだ レルの Q スタンからのジャックスのスタンからのレルのアルティメットで捕まえると思ったらヨネの強さ出ましたねまあでもタワーは取りますボトムヘラルドは取られるけど今のプレーでヘラルドなくてもタワー取った T1 ジャックスがフリーでジャングルも食えるし
in gold with that kill the bottom side turret.
His two top laners vying for a chance at the blue buff. Looks like Zeus will just take that down. Actually, very nice for a Jax to have that. And yeah, I feel like he'll be able to do a little bit more on blue side down in that bottom lane where he does 1-2 split push. We'll see though how much value he'll be able to get. He's not going to be 4-0 in this game, as he is currently 0-1. The Jax still eventually, as long as the game doesn't get too out of hand, should have a lot of power as this game comes along. But
マオカイはもうフルタンクだね
yeah.
悪魔の包囲いかない
Playing Jackson to Maokai as well is kind of tough in terms of side laning because it's really easy for the Maokai to impact those sides from a very far distance away. So it is going to be a threat, but it's not going to necessarily be very soon here with the state of his KDA, as you mentioned, the lack of items. But it's only 18 minutes in. This next Drake fight is kind of an awkward one because neither team wants to toss your chance at Worlds away for a Chemtech Dragon, you know?
カイさんに賞金ついたぞ今
Be a slow setup here. And
Hey, do you think Jovi's going to build Even Shroud again?
I hope not.
でもアフェリオスの方がアイテム出てない
Yeah,
アフェリオス2コアなんだけど
I don't think it's the way, but you know, it'll make him tanky. There's still triple
カイ
threat
さんお
here
金い
on
っぱい持ってんのかな
Let's see what he decides to do. Maybe it's Sunfire this time. As GENG and T1, they are throwing it down.
戦うのか
It is happening.
どうなる
Gotta be watching that position. He's got red white here. Chovy coming in for flash engage
ポッピ
potentially.
ー
Well, that's the Poppy Cop.
誰も当たらんポッピージャックスが3人相手耐えてるこの間に倒してお互いにトップレーナーダウンお互いにトップレーナーダウンお互いにトップレーナーダウンアフェリオスとアリスターがすんげえ入り方したおーペイズおーペイズおーペイズおーペイズ
5100 damage on the Aphelios. Really shut
5000ダメージ
He had red white at the beginning of the fight.
ペイズのメインチャンプシグネチャーチャンプアフェリオス
No follow-up damage. It's not a AP Kaisa game where you can just poke your way into these objectives. You have to follow up. You have to get on top of that Aphelios. They did not.
お互いにトップレーナーがダウンしてそっからマオカイのウルトからアリスターがすげえいい入りしたねデライトホッピーのウルトが入んなかったね
There's no follow-up. Doran's locking the rest of the team down. Guma's autoing here at the back line, so Zeus just dies instantly. And yes, Doran will die, but he does a lot more here to buy some.
おおアフェリオスのウルト3人かアリスターとアフェリオスがもう3人にぶち込んでたわ
Rookie of the year says, I'm going to the finals again. I got MVP last time. And this man is just out of control. And it's always the positioning, Valdez. The positioning of this man. No vision, doesn't care.
I mean, there's nothing else to say. I mean, just wait for the perfect moment. Yeah, and there it is, the Calibrum Q to finish it off. Alistair is crazy.
今アリスターやばかったぞって自分で言ってるやん
Man, I love the energy. It's great. Even Shroud, by the way, finished.
Yeah, he did go for it with all the money he picked up from that last fight.
サポートもねこうやって自我出していかないと誰も気づいてくれないから全部おー ADC すげえ5000ダメージってなるからね
If you just remove every single threat, like the Jax goes away and everybody else is held down by Maokai ultimate and Delight groups up 3
ナイス ADC で終わるからな。バロン触る。それでも2000ゴールドさまだあるぞ T1。オセめっちゃ強い。ポッピーのウルト次第だからね結局。ポッピーウルトがねえ。でも魔王界のアルティメットでゾーニング。ポッピーが入ってくる。ポッピー入ってきた。取れない。でも集団戦はどうなる。ヨネのアルティメットが誰にも当たってねえ。どうなるんだチームファイトは。アフェリオスが死んだか。アフェリオスが死んだぞ。カイサがキル取った。しかしみんな死んだ。ドランダボキュー。グラガスではなくカサンテ。マジか。カサンテまだ強いのか。
You opted into this. You could have just said, well, they get Baron. It's a really tough situation, but, you know, maybe we can win the game. Maybe the Nexus won't fall. You know, if we actually win another team fight later on, maybe we can actually make this happen with a miracle fight or a good counter strike in a subsequent fight. But this fight, it just felt like was never, ever going to work for T1. Even with the setup that Faker was looking for there with the Emperor's Divide.
いやーこれポッピー相手にカサンテとヨネっていいね。ヨネ戻ってこれるからね。いいを使っておけば。プラスカサンテも CC 無効だから前にガンガン出て戦闘離脱することもないし。
I mean, the Magnet Storm from Keria hits everybody, and there's a decent amount of damage coming through from Zeus, but it's still a Kaisa comp, and you don't have enough damage at this stage when you're behind.
フェイカー飛び込んだけどすぐに死んじゃったね。ウルトもなんか2人3人当たったかどうかっていう。
is enough, and once again, Pays just does massive damage before he goes down, picks up a double, and that is going to be the Baron. 11 kills to 3. GA at 22 minutes, yeah.
And a crit cloak, just as a bonus, you know. Like,
ポッピーのウルトが上がってなかったな。痛かった。数チームファイト連続で勝ったジェンジ。ADC のアイテム差がとんでもねえ。ザヤをバンし始めてからジェンジの流れになってる。アフェリオス GA コンプリート。ワンコア以上差があるぞボトム。
Yeah, especially because, like you very nicely highlighted, like the Baron
チョービーのヨネは強えわ。
GENG ran away with this game and they ran away with it fast because T1 went for a very desperate re-engage. They said, well,
ダメージが足りねえな T1。
So they went in and lost the fight anyway, right? They weren't ready to fight and they definitely were not set up for it. So now the Baron power play is massive for GENG.
マジでダメージが足りん。
And they want more than 6,000, Wolf. They want worlds.
ジャックスは万能キャラじゃなかった。
And they may just be getting it, Valdez. I mean, at this point, it is just hard to imagine a world where they don't walk out the victors of this one. Pushing now this bottom inhibitor.
Bit of damage coming in onto Doran. He's going pretty deep for this one. Don't necessarily have to do that. The Space is like, man, I just want to hit the inhibitor. Please just, just calm down. Like, just let me hit this objective. Thank you. And that he will, but the Poppy Copter comes out and they will in fact deny the inhibitor from going down for now.
Yeah,
although
Baron wears off, but they have enough. Yeah, they have enough. Valdez, it is
ドラゴンもギブかな。
GENG with a 6,000 gold lead, as you mentioned, 6,500 really here at the end of this when you put all the calculations in. Faker finally gets a second item, and that Baron fight. You know, if they had 2 items on the Azir before, maybe. If you had a little bit more layered damage, if there was some sort of AoE, like a rumble or something on top of an engage like that, you know, maybe you win those fights, right? In the choke point. Keria, he goes in, it's a big Magnet Storm. They're just so desperate and so confident it seems that they can actually still win this fight. But it's just one of those fights that T1 fans are going to be seeing in their nightmares, even if they somehow miraculously win this one, because... Yeah.
ダメージがちょっと薄い気がするな T1。 ジャックスが腐っちゃうとね。
waiting throughout this entire playoffs, even against LA Sports, we're like, man, you know, I thought Pays like rookie of the year. This guy's so good. He's not showing his true self, and finally it pays off. And you know what?
ここ負けてもまだ次はあるよ。今 KT が下で待ってるからまた T1 対 KT になるのかな。 T1 負ければここで負けた方が KT と戦います。世界大会の切符もまだ残ってるし。T1 試合数えぐいな。フェイカー手首休む暇ねえじゃん。
And an extra push on the opposite side of the map for the Baron for GENG. So that's really frustrating for T1 that bot inhib is the one that GENG wisely selected to push down to make sure they can set up for another Baron fight win. And at least if T1 get that same sort of combo this time around, they'll have a little bit more damage to follow up with it. If they do end up opting into that type of fight, obviously. And, you know, there's no real teleport to end situation here for GENG. Like, they're running a Cassante. I mean, Yone can do a decent amount of damage to structures quickly, but it's not like T1 are like, oh man, if we let that push, they just teleport and kill us. It's not that type of situation. The Jax is on your side, but it still just feels so dire here.
Yeah, it absolutely does. And this Chovy Even Shroud, we talked about it in Game 4 and how it could be great for the team, like really just allow everybody to do extra damage. Now it feels really smart. In Game 4 we were like, not sure. In this one it's like, well, you got a massively fed Aphelios and its pays, right?
T1
also gives you the extra resistances on all the legendary items, so you're really tanky, you're doing a lot of damage, you have nice amount of lifesteal, you can always go in to enable the rest of your team. And we also got Pays almost about to hit his LDR. Like, it's pretty insane. As Zeus here, 0-3, he's really trying to bring this game back somehow.
He has TP. Okay, carry.
Uh-oh. That's not going to be blocked by the Poppy. He does get stunned up there towards the end. And unfortunately, the follow-up a little bit slow from the side of GENG, but this Baron still up and available.
Feels pretty decent for T1 though that they get the Yone ult out before this happens, and you know, Zeus pushed the bottom wave so far that it's not really going to be threatening anything. He can actually just walk towards the Baron now, and
7000ゴールド差か。視界もね。
This one is way easier said than done. You just have no real entry point here. Zeus is going to try to set up that flank.
ヨネがすごいところから来た。ブラスティンコーンで来たのか。これ怖えな。キミテックリフトだからヨネが E を使ってブラスティングできて離脱できる。エコーのウルトみたいだ。
Burn down the Baron even without Pays, but if Pays is there, your damage to Baron is like threefold, right? So if Pays is ever on vision, probably not going to have GENG doing that Baron. But the second Pays goes off vision, T1 begin to push in, they begin to question.
GENG 慎重ですね。ボトムのウェーブも見て、トップのウェーブも見て。レポートする WTP だ。ここで決める判断だぞ、GENG。ボトムでけえウェーブある。ポッピーを捕まえた。ポッピー1人飛ばす。しかしそれはアリスター。あまりいい対象ではない。少数戦はどうだ。グマヨシが捕まる。フェイガーが来るけどストップパッチで時間を稼がれる。ジャックスがスタンを決めるけど素晴らしいタイミングでイゾースをかけてゲームが終わる。ボトムに突っ込んでゲームエンドだ。5-0。ダメだ、強すぎるGENG。E1 ここで世界大会ならず、決勝は1回 KT1 回というかもう2回目の戦いだね。おととい KT と戦って5試合やってまた KT と戦います。インヒビターリスポーンしたの。でも神がまだいけると言っているのか。そんなのはね。返さ突っ込みが GG。
They certainly have, and look at score. He is so happy for this roster. It was an up and down.
GENG win.
But once again, GENG come out on top. They weren't able to take first seed going into playoffs. They were robbed and
世界大会決まって決勝にも行くGENG。いいじゃん。T1 の試合もっと多く見れるのいいじゃん。逆にフェイカーの手首的には最悪だろうけど。